If you blend a Daredevil, a Jessica Jones, one Luke Cage, and an Iron Fist, we got your Defenders. Bringing it down next on Black Hollywood Live. Here we go, the Defenders. After so many seasons of other characters, we've got them coming on now. Welcome. You're watching Black Hollywood Live. All right, hey guys, I'm Ramón, and you can find me at Rickong, R-I-C-K-H-O-N-G, and I'm joined by April.
April Dawn. You can follow me on Twitter and YouTube at April13Dawn.
Hi, I'm Jesse Klein. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JessKlein1. That's J-E-S-S-K-L-E-I-N, the number one.
And the only one, maybe?
Yeah, no, there are many more Jesse Kleins.
Hey, well, you're the only one that matters, so.
Yeah, right now, for sure.
All right, hey guys. So, so we finally got the Defenders. I mean, after...
Rick, your laptop.
Yeah,
What's that?
laptop.
Oh!
Yep.
That's great.
Quite all right, Rick.
Technical difficulties.
Now
Technical
we're
difficulties. All right, here we go.
An awkward start, just like how the show started.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you know, the thing is I like watching myself, so, you know, clearly that's why I like hearing myself.
Yeah, for sure.
No, but hey, guys, we're also on the chat, so please, you know, if you're watching, join in on the chat. Feel free. I'm going to put it back on mute so that you don't have to hear me reverberate. Okay, hold on here. And
You figured it out.
yeah, I'm getting there. Well, so what'd you guys think of this first episode?
I felt like the episodes, both of them are kind of previously on Defenders. Like, it was kind of like setting up for what's going to happen in the future. Everyone's kind of separated, but you can start seeing like the ties where they're gonna all come together. So it's interesting. Overall, I thought it was fine. I was excited to see them all.
Yeah. April?
I liked the intro a lot.
You're talking about the color.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. How they separated each character, but they brought in like their own hues.
Yeah.
For like Daredevil's like red, and then Jessica's like purple, violet.
Luke Cage's was very prominent, especially with the hip hop music they brought into it too. I really liked his.
Yeah, and like Jessica Jones, like cool bass and stuff like that. Like it was cool that they're mixing all of the vibes that each show had and putting them together.
Yeah, and then Iron Fist has like his green hues.
Yeah.
And everything. So and then his dragon symbol that we kind of really didn't see a lot. I don't feel like in the show itself.
We saw a lot of topless Iron Fist, I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like he had that top popped. Yeah.
just not the wrong character maybe for topless. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You got a dragon tattoo, you got to show it off.
Oh, right. Well, I mean, so let's get into it. We're starting a little late, so let's get into it. So speaking of Iron Fist, it's kind of where they start off this episode is with him. Although when I was watching, I wasn't sure when there was the fighting in the underground sewer. I was thinking possibly maybe initially that wasn't Elektra, but it was Colleen Wing. I don't know if you guys felt that way or...
Well, since Colleen was with him, I wasn't, like, because it was both him and Colleen in the sewer.
Well, just a fight, the fight to begin with, though. Like where you see like the stranger.
Oh, gotcha.
Just a sword sequence.
Oh, yeah.
Like I wasn't sure, are we opening up with Colleen or are we opening up with Elektra? Or maybe
gotcha.
somebody not even...
Yeah, I think I thought it was just like a nameless ninja kind of thing. I didn't realize it was Elektra until later. Yeah, I liked it. I was confused because Iron Fist ends with him at Kunlun. And they haven't really explained like what happened there because he was him at Kunlun and
he's at the gates of like Kunlun and
that's a pretty big deal if you're an Iron Fist person, and so the fact that they're now in these sewers finding this guy who's been assassinated,
and we find out that they're in Cambodia.
Yeah, in Cambodia. I mean, I like that they're kind of taking the themes of the shows and bringing them into the Defenders. So, like, the theme of Danny being useless has been brought back, where he can't even defend this guy or help him. And Colleen being awesome has also been brought through it. She's just fantastic. I would watch an entire Colleen Wing show, for sure.
And we think that maybe, like, I mean, this is more borderline predictions, like, later on, but we think that they're kind of building towards a whole female I think maybe not, but
That'd be
I would
fantastic.
love that.
yeah, but we'll see. But that's predictions. It's like later on. We're at Defenders right now, so we find out that they're together. This guy dies, and they're told, okay, go to where everybody's at. Go to New York.
Yeah. Just like in real life, the center of everything is New York City. You got to get pretzels, get a Sabret's hot dog. That's what they tell Danny. Go get a hot dog.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I thought of the opening, because I think for me, if you watched everything in sequence, the 2 seasons of Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, I think I was hoping like if they opened up the Defenders, they were going to open up on one of the other characters first, because it's been a while, especially like Jessica, but instead they open up an Iron Fist, and that was kind of for me, that it was, since it's the most recent, it's kind of like a letdown part of the series for them to open up again. I was like, oh man, and he hasn't really changed. He's still kind of this kind of like blah character for me anyways.
I will say that his fight choreography through both episodes is way better than in the Iron Fist series. Like, he actually they're actually giving him martial arts moves, and the cuts between him and his stunt actor look good, which in the Iron Fist series wasn't so. I haven't been spoiled really on anything, but what I've heard some criticism of the series is that it feels less like Defenders and more Iron Fist season 2, which is interesting. Which I kind of see a little bit of that in these 2 episodes, but not so much. Like, I don't really see that. Like, we get a lot of fun, like, Daredevil moments and Luke Cage moments and Jessica Jones moments. Well, it doesn't feel like it's all about Iron Fist.
Yeah, I mean, so let's scoot past him then, and like let's get into the fun. Let's get into Luke Cage.
I mean, we're talking about the most fun. He's getting out of prison. I love the moment where he just breaks he was like, I didn't need these the entire time. You realize this?
He's playing. Yeah. The cool thing too is that he's like playing by the rules.
Yeah.
He's like, sure. He's like, I don't need these, but I'll play by the rules to make you guys feel safe, and so I'll have him on for shits and giggles.
I love the interaction with him and Foggy in the prison.
Which was actually nice to see that, okay, now here is where we start seeing like the blend of the characters and the world of the Defenders coming together. Yeah, it was really cool to see Foggy. And for me, what I'd kind of forgotten, because like I didn't quite go back yet, was that Foggy had joined Hogarth.
Yeah.
So it was cool when he's in there and he's talking to Luke, and he's bringing up the whole like, I'm your attorney, Franklin Nelson, I think, whatever, and with blah 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 Hogarth, and I'm like, oh, that's right, he joined.
A nice reminder.
I wonder if that's the same prison that the Punisher and Kingpin were in, and like
in different wards.
Yeah, or just like how much mopping they had to do to clean up that floor after that sequence of the Punisher just murdering everyone.
Right.
I would just close off that. I would close the prison after that sequence. I'd be like, you know what? We don't need to keep people here. They're obviously ghosts. Like,
or I mean, I don't know. Like too, like they know that he's got his abilities, so maybe they definitely put him in a different type of area, or said, hey, granted they know that they can't really keep him, but he's kind of just there at will. But
yeah, I like that Luke is kind of out as a superhero. Like, people know him as the hero of Harlem, and like, so even like his interactions with people, it's like people realize and know who he is, which I think is really cool. That's a dynamic that like isn't even in any of the Marvel movies or anything like that. Because with Iron Man, Tony Stark, everyone knows who he is, but he's also a billionaire, so he's not accessible. But like Luke's just going to apartment buildings,
walking through streets.
Yeah. So I thought that was really interesting. And
he's not ever wearing a mask either. I mean, even if Tony Stark is inaccessible, he's still in the suit where he's got.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying everyone knows Tony Stark is Iron Man.
Yeah.
And everyone knows Luke Cage is the guy who saved Harlem. But one is a guy walking in jeans and a hoodie, and the other is a guy with a private jet. Like,
Yeah. And so, of course, I'm sure as most people, I guess if you've been in prison and you don't get your, especially if you're not married, you don't get your, I forget what they call that.
Are you talking about a conjugal visit?
Yeah, you don't get your conjugal visit. So we see, one of our favorite characters, and one of my favorite characters and who like interweaves through all the series, and kind of puts everybody together. And she's probably one of the highlights of Iron Fist was Claire.
Yeah, she's the best.
And this is my favorite. So the guy in the chat, Ghost 8386, says,
"What's up, Ghost?
Luke finally got his Cuban coffee."
Yep, I mean, it finally happened.
He got his he's got his post. I'm out of prison and I'm gonna finally get some booty.
Yeah, on a table too. I mean, come on, you eat there, Luke.
I mean, they could have done even more damage on that table.
That's true. At least it wasn't a Jessica Jones sex sequence where everything gets destroyed.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, but it's interesting to see with a guy like Luke. He immediately as he gets out, all of a sudden, he's got his priorities straight in terms of, okay, let me go get some sex. Mm-hmm. But then right after that, you'd think if you got out of prison, you'd want to kind of have you want to keep it low key. You've been put away for a while. You just want to keep it low key, but instead, right off the bat, as you guys were saying, being the hero of Harlem, he has that conversation with Claire about, okay, why haven't you been telling me what's been going on in the hood?
Yeah, I think out of all of the Defenders, and you guys might agree or disagree, but I think Luke Cage is at least the most heroic, or altruistic, where he's there because he wants to protect people and build his community up. Where I think Jessica Jones kind of acts as a hero out of necessity or kind of gets forced to. She isn't necessarily. I think she is a good person, and underneath it all is inherently good and heroic. But it takes a while to get her there. And Daredevil is fighting his own battles, and then Iron Fist is kind of selfish and is the weapon. So I don't think he knows his place really.
I was gonna agree with you right there. He's still confused about what his place in the, because he was such in a mystical world.
Yeah.
And now he's in reality, or a different, more reality based world. So trying to figure out his place in the world. I agree with you on that.
Where Luke, for lack of a better term, it's black and white, where he's doing good to stop evil or bad things from happening to his community. Which I think I like that he's just steady like that. He gets out of prison and he's like, well, what's going on? What's Mariah up to? What's happening? What can I do? And Claire's like, you have to slow down. You
find a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's what I'm saying. Keep it low key, okay? We just had some sex. Keep it low key. It's take me out to dinner or something. Exactly. Go find a job. Don't. But I mean, it's also the thing with Luke, from what I learned from watching the series, is that he was repressed for a long time, I feel too, because he was trying to keep himself under the radar.
Yeah.
Even though he wanted to, probably at times, knowing that he had these abilities to step into, he's like, if I bring attention to myself, I also have the possibility that I've got to go back to prison. So I need to keep it low key. Whereas now, as you've talked about, he's out in the open.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I am who I am, a public figure, so I'm going to play this role.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm wondering if they'll get, they tell stories about old gunslingers where they were so fast that people just challenge them in the streets and just shoot at them. I'm wondering if we'll get instances where people know that he's bulletproof, so someone will just shoot at him in the streets just to be see, he can't be shot or something like that.
People start putting bets down.
Yeah,
can we kill this guy?
I feel that would be a believable scenario where just some 15-year-old punk shoots him with a gun just to be look, it doesn't hurt him or anything like that. That'd be an interesting kind of dynamic to see.
Well, I'd be interested to see too. It's if they do that, then do you look at that as is it attempted murder if you can't kill the guy?
I think Luke would treat it sternly but fairly. I think the police would probably be very upset. And speaking of which, it's cool to see Misty Knight back in. I'm hoping. My big worry with the show was that they would get so in love with the Defenders that they would forget about all of the side characters. And I'm really happy to see that everyone, all of the sidekicks, are getting their moments too.
Yeah, and she's got a promotion.
Yeah,
she's got we found out since Luke's been gone for a while, she got promoted. So she's on a task force, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
and she kind of clues Luke in more in terms of like what's been going on to kind of start his journey for this series.
Yeah.
As opposed to him just like sitting around.
I wonder if they're going to poke fun at with Misty and Claire and then Jessica all having a relationship with Luke, if they're going to touch on that at all.
It is a little ancestral, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, since you actually mentioned Jessica, I guess we can kind of... I missed her.
Oh, yeah.
I literally, of all of them, I absolutely missed Jessica Jones in terms of just like Krysten Ritter and the delivery and the acting, that character. So I was so happy to finally see her again.
Yeah, I mean, in the comics, I was most excited to see Iron Fist and Luke Cage interact, and when we get to that, it's awesome. But because in the comic books, they're best friends, and it's like a thing that I've enjoyed for years is their interaction. But for this show, I was most looking forward to seeing Jessica Jones. Just like, I want to see her make fun of Daredevil. I want to see her make fun of Iron Fist. I want to see her make fun of Luke Cage. I want to see her make fun of the Hand. Like, that's what I want to see Krysten Ritter just be sarcastic and snarky.
I mean, her intro is great too. I mean, she's in a bar drinking,
Yep.
or she's passed out, and it's like, hey, wake up, get out of here.
Yep. What time is it?
And like we see from like when we see a pick up for her where I think when her series ended, she was kind of just over Kilgrave and like Kilgrave, and but then she was getting like her phone was like blowing up, like the investigation stuff was like blowing up, but she was just like ignoring.
Yeah, I don't think she's over Kilgrave at all. I think that's a traumatic experience. She just killed a person. And that person happened to be like the source of all of her trauma. And like, I think that Jessica Jones probably is going to carry that forever. Like that's a pretty big deal for her. So I don't think she's over Kilgrave at all. And I think that's probably why she isn't answering the phone. Like either because she's afraid that it's going to be Kilgrave involved, or just afraid that like, she killed a guy and like she's dealing with that.
No, and it's cool too that in the sequence, as you talked about, they bring in her sister Trish.
Oh yeah,
Trish is in there.
Yeah, I love Trish. Trish is the best.
I was like, I had to like sit there for a second. I was like, is it the same actress? I was like, yes, it is her.
Oh yeah.
It's because I think she grew out her hair. Her hair was like a little bit less blonde for me, like when I was watching it, anyways. But and then you've got Malcolm shows up too.
Mm-hmm. Malcolm's awesome as well. Just walking in.
It's interesting, like when I saw Malcolm because of his hairdo.
Yeah,
I'm just like, it's the weekend, right? I mean, like the hair.
I can see that.
In the chat when we did the Jessica Jones show, like a lot of people were just calling Malcolm the Weekend. Yeah, it's a pretty popular comparison.
Yeah, and so by the time Jessica gets back, she's got the person like the wife saying, I need to find my husband John Raymond.
Yeah.
And, at first she's just like, dude, I don't do that stuff. No, I don't want to do it. She's like, I need to find my husband.
Yeah.
And then she gets like the weird scream phone call.
Yeah.
Don't try to find me.
Do you like scary movies?
But that was a little distracting. I thought it was like a little weird to have like that phone call kind of come in. Like that's like the one piece of where they introduced her. It's like I was like happy to see her.
Yeah.
I was seeing all the dynamics of like characters the way that she was. But that's like the one distracting thing in the scene. I was like, Scream?
Well, I like it again because Jess has to be pushed into action, and like her call to action isn't to help someone, like isn't because these people needed help, but it's because someone threatened her. And she's like, okay, this seems fishy now.
And told her not to pursue it.
Yeah.
They're like, don't go after this. She's like, I'm doing it.
Yeah, it's almost like the anti-authority thing. If you tell me not to do something, then I'm gonna go do it and rebel against whatever this is.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if we're gonna get like the B team, because Trish is there and Colleen Wing and Claire and Karen and Foggy. Like, I wonder if they're all going to also have like a sidekick defenders where like all of them are going to hang out at some point as well.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's a great possibility.
Because I'd like to see, like, for instance, like Trish and Karen interact, where like Trish and Foggy interact, because they're all really interesting characters, and Malcolm, like see all of these people interact as well. Because I mean, I think that's what you're selling. If you're selling Defenders, what you're selling is like, look at all these characters interacting together and like working towards something. So it'd be kind of cool to see like the B team also working together and doing stuff.
Especially since they don't have any abilities.
Yeah,
Like none of them have like the powers.
I mean, Colleen is a master swordsman, and Trish is good at Krav Maga, but other than that, yeah.
Yeah, but there's like no right, exactly. But there's like, I mean, basic stuff that a lot of like regular people, like you or myself or April, can go learn, but not. Yeah, we're not bulletproof or are gonna like kick people through like solid doors.
Yeah, blind monks.
So then we finally go into our other character, like Daredevil, Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
And he's just doing his lawyer thing.
Yeah, pro bono. Yeah, he's I mean, you guys, if you saw the AfterBuzz Daredevil show with that we did, like, I'm a big fan of just seeing the lawyer scenes. Like, I think it's really cool. Like, the thing I really like about these shows is they really balance like the regular stuff with the superhero stuff. So, and I think that's where one of the reasons why Iron Fist fell short is because all of it felt like it all felt one note, and there wasn't like a break. Where like Jessica Jones, like I love when she is just being a good private investigator. Where like her superpower isn't that she has super strength, it's that she's a really good private investigator. And I like seeing Matt Murdock, attorney at law. Like, I think it's really fun and interesting, and I like seeing him like practicing it and then like doing like it's cool to see.
Yeah, him just being his day job.
Yeah.
As opposed to being his night job.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so then from there, like, yeah, right, he's doing his lawyer thing, and then from what we know from gathering and like seeing them talking, that they haven't talked in a while, he bumps into Karen.
Yeah. Well, yeah, at the end of Daredevil, like, I don't know about you guys, but like I kind of wished there was almost like a previously on Defenders, like just a thing to like show like, here's how Daredevil season 2 ended. Here's how Jessica Jones ended. Here's how Luke Cage ended. Here's how Iron Fist ended. Like, even if it was like a 5-minute sting or something like that, just so, because I was like, oh, that's right. Like, at the end of Daredevil season 2, Elektra is dead, and Foggy and Karen
are doing their own things. They
have decided that it's a toxic relationship, and Stick is trying to make Daredevil a killer. Like, those are like the and like try and recruit him to the chase, and it's like I forgot that Karen was not interacting with Matt that much anymore, and that Foggy wasn't talking to him, that kind of stuff.
Because I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah,
that was a like we've talked about. That was like one of the reasons why, like I said, I like seeing Jessica Jones again, and I wish they would have rather started with one of the characters we hadn't seen first, as opposed to Iron Fist, because like I'm a little saturated with him. But I agree with you on that. It's like I had to personally, for me, I had to go back, and I knew that Daredevil season 2. I know you said you weren't a big fan of it, but
I was a fan of it. To clarify, to defend myself, guys, I just think Daredevil season 1 is a perfect miniseries, and season 2 was not perfect. But that doesn't mean it was bad. It just was not perfect.
But April, you and I like season 2.
Yes, I like it better than the first season.
I also liked season 2. I just didn't think it was perfect.
I understand, man. I'm not knocking you for like everybody has like a different. Of course, like you were also saying that you were grabbing towards Wilson Kingpin. So
well, yeah. I mean, I really want to see Kingpin in this. I think Daredevil season 1 was just an origin story for the Kingpin, and it was really, really interesting. Wilson Fisk is just an interesting character, so that's why I enjoyed it. But seeing that he's kind of like, maybe he's kind of retired being Daredevil, like he's talking with Karen and he's saying like he doesn't miss it or anything like that. So it's like maybe he hasn't been out in a while, like that kind of stuff is interesting to see, because he's kind of the guy with the most I mean, everyone has personal repercussions, but he's lost his best friend and his love interest slash also best friend, confidant kind of as well. And so he's dealing with those repercussions.
Yeah, like everybody that he was close to felt kind of betrayed by him on some end for who he was.
Yeah.
So he was one of those characters that definitely like doesn't have that next, like Jessica Jones still has her sister. Mm-hmm. You know, she still has her sister. Luke has Claire. Danny has
Colleen.
Yeah. So that's true.
And I assume the other people at his corporation as well. Like, yeah, I mean, and I like how simple the story they're telling is right now, where it's like this lawyer that Jessica is investigating, there's something going on that's really screwed up. Jessica has a brief fight with Elektra. He kills himself. There's something really screwed up going on. At the same time, Luke is investigating all of these young kids who are dying mysteriously. And the one family from the waitress, and like the woman who worked at the lounge that in Luke Cage, like it's the same family.
Right.
Like, and he's investigating this kid. And it's all kind of like, you can see where it's all coming into a head. We're like, and now also Matt is looking into it as well. Like, you see where it's all kind of coming to a head. And we already have like our first interactions where we've got, you know, Iron Fist and Luke Cage with the fight, which I've been sitting on this entire time. It was awesome. It was so
and we got to see it in the trailer a little bit.
Yeah,
like
we
a
got
little bit.
We got to see it a little bit in the
snippets,
trailer, but this was freaking awesome. Like, seeing Luke just stand there while Iron Fist wails at him and does like actual kung fu moves. Like, again, like it looks like he actually had a fight choreographer that he worked with. And like we heard in Iron Fist, like some days they were getting their fight choreography the day they were shooting instead of like weeks or days of rehearsal, which it looks like there was more time, so it looks better. And then when we see the fist come out, like the big problem we had with Iron Fist is we never saw him punch anyone with the Iron Fist. Like, he always just like punched a wall or a brick or a sword or something like that. So it was cool to see him actually punch a person with the Iron Fist, and it happened to be an unbreakable man who got thrown back, which was so cool.
Do you think that maybe he waits too long to use it? Or he knows that if he uses it, it could be death for the other person, so that's why he waits until he's finally like pushed to a certain brink, and then, okay, now I'm going to pull out my Iron Fist.
Yeah, I mean, in the comic books, like, he's like the best kung fu fighter in the world by leaps and bounds, except for maybe one or two people. But and I think, like, for the most part, he can solve most of his problems just by regular fighting. And I think he breaks it out when he comes to a problem that kung fu doesn't solve. And so, like, also, yeah, if you hit a normal person with the Iron Fist, you would just turn them into red mist. So, like, you wouldn't want to punch a normal person with the Iron Fist because it would, like, punch a hole through them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely think Danny realized he wasn't fighting an average person by that time that he used it.
Yeah.
Clearly. No, and it is fun. It is fun to see, like, two protagonists going up against each other if they haven't met.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of like what we liked about the movies, the Marvel movies, where you've got, like, in Civil War, we've
Sure.
got, like, they're all going up against each other using their powers and kind of just seeing them do their thing as opposed to just good versus evil.
Yeah. And also at this time, like, he still has to, like, concentrate his chi and, like, really, like, focus on it. So it's a last minute thing where it's like he probably can't use it again for a while. So he better know that he's using it and doing it the right way, basically.
Yeah. What I liked about, so as we moved into episode 2, what I liked about it too is I was thinking, as I watched episode 1, they didn't have Carrie-Anne Moss yet. Hogarth. Hogarth didn't show up in episode 1, but she shows up in episode 2.
She's so good.
Yeah, and just like seeing her interaction with like Jessica Jones and being like, dude, you are a troublemaker.
Yeah.
So it's just like, don't, because like I know you're gonna get yourself into trouble.
Yeah. That interaction is always fun to watch. And Hogarth is such a great character. And I love seeing that. I think we see it a little bit, and like it's the way Carrie-Anne Moss, who's just murdering it, like putting on a clinic, is like you can see that she also kind of cares about Jessica Jones. As much as a cold clinical lawyer as she is, there is like a bit of it where she does care about Jessica. Jessica saved her life and protected her, so it is a thing where it's like there is this kind of like, it's not motherly care, but it is just like she's looking after her a little bit.
There's an understanding there for sure, is right, in terms of like how her relationship with Jessica.
Yeah.
Finally, okay, so before we get to predictions, so let's talk about the new character and someone that's just an awesome actress. So we see Sigourney Weaver, who theoretically probably is going to be like the main villain in this. I don't know if you guys noticed, as Alexandra Reed, most of her scenes, she's always wearing white.
I did notice that.
And I don't know if it's like I don't know if you guys have like an idea like what it might symbolize, like there's like symbolism there, or it's just like kind of like how they go from character to character where, like Daredevil is like the red, Jessica is violet purple, Luke is like that neon yellow, Iron Fist is green, so maybe like she's white, and then I guess like the Hand and Madame Gao are black.
I always just thought she was really classy looking. That's what I took from it.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that, when you think about the Hand, you think about people striking from the shadows and like assassins and ninjas, and I think it's maybe a statement where it's like, I'm out in the open. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a power play where it's like, I'm not hiding. I'm wearing the brightest colors. Another comic book, Moon Knight, he wears all white so that people see him. Like, it's a symbol. Like that this person is coming at the and that they're there at all times. So I think it might be kind of like that thing where it's like, yeah, I'm the leader of this like clandestine ninja organization, but you can see me. I'm right here. If you want to find me, you know where I am.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that breakdown of it. And you guys notice, so it was interesting about, normally throughout the series, like all of them, the Hand, Madame Gao, she's always like the nemesis. Even with your favorite guy, Wilson Fisk, she's still above him. But in this scenario, we see that Madame Gao is actually answering to Alexandra Reed. She's not like the creme de la creme.
Yeah, well, we find out in Iron Fist that there are like separate leaders of separate factions within the Hand, because we had what was his name? Bukato? Was that his name?
I think so.
But the guy who was a mentor to Colleen Wing, like we found out that he was also a leader in the Hand, but just like a separate faction. So I'm wondering if there's going to be like, if he maybe died in Iron Fist, but he disappeared at the end, so I don't think no body, no death.
Right.
So I'm wondering like if he and Madame Gao and Alexandra are going to be like the three like corporate heads basically of the Hand, for lack of a better term.
Although she's not invincible, like we find out that she's got some sort of disease or she's dying.
Yeah.
Very rapidly.
And so that's why she wants to speed up whatever evil plan the Hand has, or whatever like they want to dish out, which causes like that crazy, I believe, earthquake.
Yeah, at the end of episode 1.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because we hear Madame Gao say there's like a wall that whatever they're digging towards, there's a wall that's in between what they need to get to. And Alexandra's like, get through it. I'm interested why cancer is a problem, because why doesn't she just resurrect herself? Because that's what the Hand do. And like I don't know how old Alexandra is. Like if she is also
Right.
like
She's like, what's his face's character, David Wenham's character in Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Where he didn't age.
yeah, like I don't know where she comes from or like how old she is. But it's like one of those things where it's like, why doesn't she just like let the cancer or like have a ninja honorably stab her and then she can resurrect herself?
I think she's getting some things in line before she lets that happen.
Yeah.
Just in case, like, if she doesn't come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I guess
that makes sense
it's a
too.
process.
Yeah, right. We don't have all the rules. We don't have her complete backstory, but she's like a great addition as the evil character.
Yeah.
This season.
Yeah. She's definitely not a physical intimidation presence, but like Sigourney Weaver is such a good actress that she's still
badass, yeah.
intimidating. So it's cool to see her.
All right. Well, so let's get into predictions. April, you have any ideas like what you think for the next couple episodes?
I think we're finally going to see them team up, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I mean, I think they're all going to get together at the next episode, and hopefully by the fourth one, they're actually on the same page and on the same mission.
yeah, I think there's got to be like some sort of inciting incident that pushes them all into the same place at the same time. I thought maybe the earthquake was going to be that, but it wasn't. It feels like the earthquake wasn't that big a deal. Like there are people talking about it, but you're not seeing that much of a impact on the city. It wasn't that big or whatever. There's got to be some sort of inciting incident that brings them all into the same place at the same time. They're obviously not going to get along at first. There's going to be a lot of infighting, and I'd like to see also, like if we've got the defenders on one side, I want to see what the evil version is on the other side. Like I assume that if there's 4 good guys, there's going to be 4 comparable bad guys to fight. Yeah, so I'd like to see what that is as well.
I don't know. Like I said, maybe we will actually see some sort of. Well, we definitely know that there's Elektra.
Yes.
And she's got some crazy powers after her resurrection.
Yeah.
So at least there's one formidable enemy that we have.
Yeah.
I'll say, I don't think in the next episode. I think in the next episode, this is what we're going to see. Is now that we've seen Matt breaking in and telling Jessica Jones, "Don't say anything. I'm your lawyer."
Yeah.
I think we'll see the two of them for a little bit, and separately we'll see, and I don't even know yet, like Iron Fist and Luke Cage.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's in the next episode. It might be the episode afterwards. So that's kind of like my prediction is like they won't get together quite yet. I think we'll see a pairing first of 2 and 2, and then from there, we'll see them kind of figure out like whatever the incident happens and they get together. So, but hey guys, I'll tell you what, we are gonna be watching episodes 3 and 4. We're gonna be going on at 4 o'clock our time, so in about 2 hours. And Joelle Monique will also be joining us. So take a break or go watch episodes 3 and 4. Where can we find you guys?
I'm Jesse Klein. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JessKlein1. That's JessKlein, the number 1. You can also see on our sister station AfterBuzz when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. comes back. I'll be doing that panel here.
You can follow me on Twitter and YouTube at April13Dawn.
And I'm Rick Hong. You guys can follow me on all social media at Rick Hong. And later tonight, I'll be covering The Strain. We'll be back in 2 hours, so come back with us, and we'll talk more Defenders. Thanks.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.